Okay, so when I was filming this, I tried making an interesting intro, and you have no idea how many takes there were of just this, and it just... How do people make interesting intros for their videos? That just looks dumb. Whatever. Hey y'all, it's Alex and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the Ecoline Watercolor brush pens. Typically I've only seen these used for hand lettering, which they are really good for that. They're nice, durable watercolor brush markers, and they come in a multitude of different colors, and the color range in these is actually the exact same as in their liquid watercolors. And I'm also going to be testing out how well these watercolors do in the Illo sketchbook. It's kind of been a goal of mine in using my Illo sketchbook to put it through the ringer with every tool type that I have. For today's sketch, I got it in my head that I was going to draw like a scholarly elf, maybe like a cozy autumn, curled up in a reading nook kind of character. And that kind of was discarded after a little while. I then proceeded to try to give them a wizard hat, and I got rid of that. The drawing of this character was a lot of hemming and hawing, which seems to be a common theme for me. I start off with an idea, then I'm like, no, I don't really like that. So I'm just gonna move on from that. The problem is that means that my line art process is a bunch of me waffling back and forth between ideas. Here you see that the elf person is kind of going through like emo artist phase. Then I wanted to turn them into a witch. You'll be seeing my next batch of videos a little bit out of order. At least chronologically, I filmed this one after another character who I drew with a big witch hat. So I decided to scrap that part, just so that way I wouldn't be drawing the exact same thing multiple times in a row, because, spoiler alert for that future video, that person also is an elf, and also has a big hat, and also is kind of dressed like a hipster, so... Decided to switch up my content so that way you guys wouldn't be watching the exact same video with different supplies all over again. I swore that that video would be coming out first. It didn't, because I want to have all of my videos from inside my Illo sketchbook done, so that way I can post my Illo sketchbook tour. I'm pretty sure I just said this exact same thing in my last video, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I always forget what I've said in videos. In the end, I kind of went for like an Instagram-worthy kind of hipster outfit. I always like the ridiculousness of big sweater, like big turtleneck that is a crop top, but also with shorts. I just think it's an interesting dichotomy, and I wish I were more confident to wear something like this. I hate wearing crop tops. I hate wearing shorts. I also hate anything with long sleeves. So 3 massive no's in my personal wardrobe stance. I have no idea where the idea came in to draw this bird coming in to land on the elf's arm. I did draw the bird a little bit from reference, because I'm really bad at drawing birds and I'm really bad at drawing wings. I needed to have something. I'll see if I can find which image I referenced and link it down below. I just wanted this person to be super hipster, like, I'm so cool. I'm wearing this big sweater that covers my mouth, and I'm also a falconer. So unoriginal. So... would hip be the right word? I don't think so, but whatever. So before we get into the actual coloring of this piece, I will admit that this wasn't the first time that I had used the Ecoline specifically in this Illo. And I knew some of the downfalls, but I wanted to push the limits on what I'd done before. I usually stuck to very light skin tones or no skin tone at all and just using accent colors for shading, which is exactly why I went in with a really dark skin color, just to show that you have to be really, really quick with these markers in order to make sure that there isn't streaking. It's really bad in the leg, but you can also get a little bit of pilling wherever you rub the paper a little bit too much. It's not the worst. My favorite thing about these markers is they don't bleed onto the other side. Something that I wish I would have utilized more in different ways is the use of the colorless blender, and it's really easy to kind of use them like chameleon markers and kind of like tip them, then soak up some ink on the marker that you want to blend with. And you can do this between the actual markers themselves. They clean off pretty easily, just kind of on a separate page. But I'll put an image of a couple of my favorite other Ecoline pieces kind of like here-ish, and you'll kind of see that what I did before was taking the colorless blender and adding blushing and the shadows to the skin instead of going in with an actual skin color. I just kind of left it white. The thing is, I wanted to kind of push myself for this video because I wanted to kind of show the pitfalls of some of the darker colors. I tend to experience this pilling a lot more with the darker colors, or at least it's more noticeable to me. In the Fallout piece of myself, I didn't notice it as much, and the sepia color is on the darker side. So I don't know whether or not if it's just hit or miss, and the gray is just particularly rough. I also wish I hadn't done a gray shirt with gray, well, technically it was black, but it ends up being gray because of the gradient. I thought that it would be a really nice way to use the colorless blender more. I wish I would have done like maybe a purple shirt. Oh shoot, I could change that now. But here you really see that pilling, like if you really go hard on the if you really go hard with it, it will pill. The thing is, for the sweatshirt at least, it gave it an interesting almost fabric-like texture, so I wasn't too mad with it there. I am, however, not a fan of the pilling on the skin. I kind of prefer just leaving the skin white on these characters, at least in this sketchbook. Using these watercolor markers on watercolor paper is actually really nice. I enjoy the color payoff they have. You do, of course, have to work quick with them, but I mean, you have to work quick with Copics too, so I really find that I don't care that much about the texture. So I will admit, in the end here, I was not too happy with how the sweatshirt turned out. And I was sitting here staring at it, it's like, oh god, I've ruined it. What now? And my iridescent watercolor palette from Finetech was sitting there. It was just calling my name. So I ended up taking the metallic white and painting it over the sweatshirt, which made it a closer gray to that of the skin color, at least in the collar area. Funny enough, that also kind of smoothed over the texture of where the Ecolines ripped up the paper. really enjoy these Ecolines. They don't bleed through the paper. They do rip it up a little bit, but I mean, that's perfectly fine. I'm a little surprised that I haven't seen more people do a video about this. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you get a chance to try these markers out, tell me what you think in the comment section below. If you'd feel so inclined, hit that subscribe button or check me out on my other social media handles. Thanks, and I'll see y'all in the next one.